over a Disney trip. Had a lot of fun. Got in late last night. I'm off today, so now I've got to do some work. I've got to measure the roof and determine where I'm going to be putting how we're going to be setting up the checkerboard. Kind of very similar to what I did last year. Doing some math, I'm finding that my squares are going to be 55 inches by 55 inches with the way the roof is. And if they were 4 foot by 4 foot, 48 inch squares, then I'm going to be going down over, so down 4 feet over 1 foot, so that'd be 5 feet. And I'm going to do that 1, 2, 3. I'd need 19 foot of lights to do a 48 inch by 48 inch square with one strand of lights. A normal strand would be 19 feet if I did the math right. If I'm doing the 55 inches, which I plan on doing without even thinking about this, I'm going to need more lights because each run down is 4 feet 7 inches plus a foot over, so it'd be 5 feet 7 inches. Let's just say 5.5 feet. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, and 24 feet. Most strands of lights aren't 24 feet long. Not a lit. I mean, the strand might be 23 feet or 23.5 feet, but you got to factor in 6 inches of that or 8 inches of that is not lighted. It's not lit. It's the leader to the plug. So I can't factor in. I need to find out what the actual lighted length of the strands are and go from there. Now, not every square obviously is going to need that. There's going to be a lot of squares here that I'm not going to have a full, 4 feet by 4 feet or 5 feet by 5 feet or wherever the case may be, because I'm going to have this divide here, and then when the roof cuts in there, those squares are going to turn into triangles, and those triangles are going to be obviously smaller than the full square. So my shorter strands I can use for the corners and for this divide here. But once I figure out that, I think that 48 inches is going to be my max, which is 7 inches smaller than I initially thought. So let me crunch those numbers and see what I think. All right. If you mark your roof, because you gotta write something on it or you gotta do something like this, piano keyboard or checkerboard or whatever the case may be, good thing to mark it on is with just some concrete sidewalk chalk. I stole this from my daughter, but grab a couple pieces because writing on this, the shingles will eat away these chalks very quickly. I've already been through one. It's my second one. Anyway, this right here is our center line. We're also, common sense tell you, don't do this on a day it's supposed to rain or that the roofs are wet. Obviously the chalk line, this will just wash off in the rain. So, but anyway, center line, and then I got 48 inches for each line, both ways. When I came down to where this roof part was, I ended it, followed a straight line and started it here. So, because I'm making my channels 48 inches instead of 55 inches, I'm going to be left with some extra space here. I was probably left with maybe 2 feet short from the edge if I started right at the peak. So what I'm probably going to do is come down off the peak a little bit and then be off the eave a little bit here. The roof is done and marked. Now I want to make a note that I'm doing a 16 channel checkerboard, what I call checkerboard roof. You can do a 9 channel, 4 channel. I mean, in all honesty, you can do whatever you want. I chose to do a 16 channel and mirror it. If I had extra boxes, I might just have this completely, every box was its own channel. Hopefully you can see what I've done. Found my center point, which is this line right here. Alright, so this is channel 1, 2, 3, 4. So out of this, I'm going to need 3 based on my math, and my Christmas strands being about 20 to 23 feet long normally. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 full strands for the channel 1, 2, and 3 because these are almost, or if not, full squares. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top, and we got 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be another 4 full strands. 9, 10, 11, 12, another 4 full strands. 13, 14, 15, 16. This is going to be another 3 full strands. That's not going to be a full strand, or it could be. I'm just going to have some extra. Alright, and then once we continue to go a little bit further, you see that the roof cuts in, and I lose my channel 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not there. You got a little channel 5, 6, 7, 8 is not here. 9, 10. Alright, small channel 10. I might not even put a channel there. And then 13, 14, and maybe a 15 if I wanted that little corner. Alright, so I'm just repeating my 16 channels that way. Also, I'm repeating the 16 channels this way. The way the roof is set. 1, 2, this is channel 2, and that's channel 2. When you're sitting at the road, that will look like one channel, which it is one channel. And then we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there's 12 here, and then 13, 14, I'm standing in 15 and 16. Okay, well, it's time to start installing the lights. Got our bucket of lights up here, got the birthday boy up here helping, and we're going to start. I think channel 1 might be a good place to start. So hopefully we'll be able to show you in detail what we're doing, but I'm going to explain it real quick. We're going to get 4 strands of lights for channel 1, 5, 9, and 13. And we're going to start with channel 1. We're going to hook it up and attach it up top. We're going to bring it down to where channel 5 starts, and then zip tie channel 5 to that, and start channel 5 down. And we're going to zip tie channel 9 to that, and then channel 13 down here. And then we're going to go over and then come back up, tie back into 9, up, tie back into 5, go up into 1, and we'll do that. I want to show you something what we've done, just so there's no confusion. We've got, this strand of lights is going to be for channel 1. Okay, and what I've done is I've come straight down here to the line where channel 2 starts, and I tied in our next set, which is actually channel 5. Okay. So our next set, as you can see here, channel 1 comes down, and it's going to be turning here and going 1 foot over, but channel 5 ties in here. So I'm zip tying that, and the same thing for channel 9 and channel 13. Alright, the reason I'm doing it this way, we have to do it this way, is because I don't want to have to fasten and put a bunch of shingle clips underneath the shingles in the middle of the roof. I just want to be able to fasten it up top and fasten it down at the bottom. Alright, I made an error in my last, I said 3 inches, I meant 6 inches, so just moved it over 6 inches here, so you're 6 inches from the side, and your 4 stripes are right in the center. So that's what I had to do. I think I said 3 inches, I meant 6. So, and we're moving on. Alright, well, I got a little bit done on the roof. I still have a lot to do up there. Stopped to eat dinner, and now it's dark. I've decided to work on the cross section over the driveway. And what I think I'm going to do this year is I have these red and green icicle lights that I'm not planning on using. So I bunched them up, or I just fold them over to make 2 feet sections. And I'm going to put 8 of them. This is 16 feet from tower to tower. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, or 16 divided by 8 is 2 feet, because there's going to be 8 channels. So I'm just trying to separate them to a point where they're evenly spaced and not bunched up. This is 2 sections up here now. Let's see what it looks like. Actually, it looks pretty good. Well, good morning and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It is Thursday morning, and I'm ready to tackle or finish the roof. Hopefully I could do this before it rains. It rained this morning, and I haven't gotten up there to look, but I can see that most of my chalk lines have disappeared. And
Wasn't expecting rain. I could still see some of the chalk lines, so I'm going to get up there and remark my lines as while I can still see them. Well, halfway done. Halfway done with the roof anyway. You can see I'm going to have to come up here and just, I'm going to have to, all the extra excess on the end, I'm going to have to tie in, make it look nice, and have to hook up all the extension cords. And I'm going to make sure all the lines are straight. You see how this one here is kind of, just pull that out and make it straight. I'll have to come up here probably a few times through the season to clean off the leaves falling out of the trees and to adjust the lines. If it gets really windy, they will start to shift. So, but that's halfway there. Well, for some reason this side is going quicker than the other side. However, I am at a clips. I'm 3 long strands short of being able to complete, which I can go and fix 3 strands. I'm sure I can get that done. I've got enough short strands that I need, and I'm missing probably about 30 clips to be able to finish that part of the roof. But this whole thing is done. Sometimes, maybe it's just me, maybe it's not, but when I was doing the other side, I'd put a clip, I'd come down, zip, go all the way down, put a clip, measure 1 foot over, put another clip, and go all the way up. And it seemed to take forever, and I was getting really frustrated with how long it was taking. So when I started this side, what I did is I just measured out and put all my clips in place, the top and the bottom. And it seemed to have gone, and I went ahead and put all the zip strips up here so I can, when I come up, I can just tie it off. And it seemed to go so much quicker, so much smoother by getting all the clips in place. So if you're going to do something like this, maybe try that way. Maybe you find it works better. Okay, icicle lights. Icicle lights are definitely a unique set of lights. And the only 2 colors that icicle lights, in my personal opinion, look good in are either white or blue, because they're supposed to be icicles. I would have never bought these. These are red and green icicle lights. I didn't buy these. These were donated by a neighbor that at an old house we used to live in. So I have used these over the years, but they haven't been basically for icicles. Last year I wrapped what I call the stripe on my house, which was probably about 3 feet off the ground, all the way across the house. I went ahead and put these there. This year I'm putting them in the tower sections. I'm doing 8 channels. This is going to take place of the 8-channel arch that I did last year. Again, I'm not planning on reprogramming any. Let's see if I can cinch you guys here. I'm not planning on reprogramming any of my channels. I'm just on my show. I'm just basically moving the channels around to fit the new house, at least for this year. But what I'm doing with this is obviously making sure they all work. And then I'm starting at the first icicle, right there. I'm going to be measuring off 2 feet. Okay? And then basically I'm going to fold this back and forth so I have a 2-foot section of icicles. I'm going to keep on going back and forth, trying to keep all the icicles down and not tangled up. And kind of make a thick curtain of red and green icicle lights. The tower section is 16 feet long, 8 channels, it's 2 foot a section obviously. So I'm going to group these together so they are, you know, a 2-foot strand. Zip tie the group together so I have that, and then go ahead and zip tie it to the tower section, which I'll show you in just a second. Let me get this tied up and we'll go over there. Okay, hopefully you can see. I'm not sure where this is pointing at, but I've got my 6 channels already tied in. I've got my 2-foot section here, making sure that my male end same direction. Basically, towards that way because that's where the box is going to be. I'll set this down into the section where I want it and then just zip tie it. gotta do one more section for here. Ooh, I almost dropped you. One more section for here, and then the extension cord's over, and this will be done. The whole tower actually should be done because I've got my 8 channels over here already, 8 channels on that, and then 8 channels up top. I did put a static set of LED lights in with the garland to help light that up at night. So let's get the last channel done and up. I figured now is the best time than any to again let you know that I use the Lightkeeper Pro as my light testing kit. They're not paying me. I'm not sponsored, which I'd love to be, but I'm not. This is the best Christmas tool that I have, and had it for about 3 years now. And I've had to replace the batteries in it once, but it's still working and still working good. But that's not exactly why I cut in here to make this video. I'm going through my lights to make sure that I have a good strand that's not going to cause me problems. And this broken bulb here is making the lights flicker, obviously, for obvious reasons. I mean, if the two wires there are touching, it's going to pass the current. Every single year I get electrocuted when I come to test my lights, and luckily, knock on wood, I haven't gotten electrocuted yet. I'm not getting shocked. I'm pretty shocked. It's not electrocution. But I'm going to change that bulb. And yes, I could just unplug the strand. But let's just say it's in the middle of the show and the strand is plugged in somewhere way off away, and I need to change this bulb here because it's causing problems. This might be common sense to some of you, but some of you might not think about it. If you try to pop this out with a knife or with your fingernail and try not to touch those wires with your finger, it's going to be difficult, and if you do touch, there's a good chance you're going to get a shock. So, this might be common sense. Some people just take the next bulb out. By removing that bulb, it turns off the power to that section. Just make sure that if the broken bulb is the first bulb in the section and you take out the second, you make sure you're taking out a bulb in the section of the broken bulb. This way I can grab this without any concern of getting shocked or anything. Swap out the bulb, put it back in place, and we'll have a good working set of lights. Just a little hint, just in case you didn't think of it. And just like that, the 8 channels is done. You can see it's going to be behind the garland. Sigh of relief. I literally found exactly enough clips as I needed to finish the roof, and I was able to find enough strands so I don't have to buy any more strands or clips. I have to do some tightening up when I come up here with the extension cords, like I said before, but all of the roof is done. Alright, I'm going to choose to end the video here. We're getting ready to go to Thanksgiving dinner, and I don't know when we'll be back tonight, so I'm not sure if anything, I'll get done tonight. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this video. Please leave a comment. I'll do my best to get back to you. If you have any questions, just let me know. And we'll see you next time.